What's going on, Internet? Nerdlocker.com here with this week's comic book reviews. I'm starting off with Batman Eternal, number 6. I like this issue a lot because it's starting to show what else is going to be going on. It's not just a crime story with Carmine Falcone in this. We now see that there's something bigger going on underneath Arkham, and we're actually getting the Spectre involved with Batwing, which is pretty cool because it's showing that you're encompassing the whole Bat family. I really like that. This isn't just going to be a Batman-focused story. It's all of Gotham. It's all the characters, bad guys, good guys. Everyone's involved, and I really like that a lot. Like I said, this is just a new angle that we're going to be seeing, or a new direction that we're going to see part of the story take, and we also see bigger ramifications with what Carmine Falcone's been doing in Gotham and what he's planning on doing. I love this issue. I can't wait for next week. That's also the great thing about this, is it comes out next week. So I'm giving this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey there, nerds. Jim here with my comic book reviews this week. And first up, we have Quantum and Woody number 10. Big fan. If you've seen any of my reviews, you know I love Quantum and Woody. Book's kind of gotten a little slow, though. We've moved away from the ERA stuff, which I think is hilarious. And we're developing more of the relationship between Quantum and Woody, or Eric and Woody. And they're on different sides of the law now, as we saw at the end of the last issue. And it's interesting how this is going to play out. And we still really don't know what Woody's doing, where his head's at. And it's clear from this, he doesn't take anything serious, but it's not like in a, your best friend who just doesn't do anything the way he's supposed to. He's just a goof off. This one gets into legal ramifications, and it clearly is messing with Eric, and it's not a good thing. It ends with us getting back into ERA, so I'm excited about that. I love that group. I think they're hilarious, and it all comes back to Woody and what he does to get them there. This issue is a little slow. They're getting us to where we want to be, but this one just seems like a filler. It was okay. It was a good read. You still have the humor and the comedy going on. You still have the fisticuffs between Quantum and Woody. But we didn't see much of the superhero stuff, which is what I do want to see. So for this issue, I'm only going to give it 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
BAMF! Nightcrawler number 2 comes out this week, and I got to read it. Chris Claremont, Todd Knock. This book is amazing. Just because I love Nightcrawler, also because the story is actually pretty good. In this second issue, we are following up them being attacked by the Trimega, and they're going to track down their adoptive mother, known as Margali. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, Margali. Please don't put a spell on me. She is a powerful sorceress, and she kind of raised Nightcrawler and Amanda. So they have to get to her before Trimega gets to her and ends up hurting her. So you actually get this really nice scene between Nightcrawler, Amanda, and all of their old friends from the circus, and they're all kind of fighting each other because they don't believe that that's the real Nightcrawler, since from what they understood, Nightcrawler was dead. The fight goes on a little long, and it kind of reminds me that comic books are so short. You don't get too much. But the artwork by Todd Knock is excellent, so I'm still going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls because the story's great, the artwork's great. Yeah, the fight was a little long, but it's still a great adventure, and I want to read the second one, so check it out.
Hey, fellow nerd, Jasper here, and I just got done reading Superman Doomed. This one-shot is incredible. From the last time that Superman fought Doomsday, it was just an epic battle, but this is more of a super Doomsday. The first time they got into a fight, it pretty much was a shell, or a larva shell, as Doomsday has butterflied out of this cocoon and is now wreaking havoc. Somehow he has this weird energy force which is sucking people's life forms and incinerating them as he grows stronger, and no one can stop him. Everyone that gets close to Doomsday's vicinity pretty much burns up into ash, and Superman realizes that neither Wonder Woman, Batman, Steel, of all people, can stop him. Yes, Steel. Steel makes an appearance and gets just humiliated. But long story short, only Superman can stop him, and he has to go through great lengths to do so. What's even more crazy is the whole fact that how he ends up doing it is what is surprising, because it's not just necessarily Earth that they fight. It's more than that, and I don't even want to spoil why. But that's not even the end of it. You think it's the end, but then there's just a big, turnaround, and it was nostalgic of the 1992 original, Superman Doomsday arc, and you just definitely have to check it out. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
So also from Valiant, I read Bloodshot and the Hardcore number 22. I'm not the biggest fan of some crossovers because a lot of them just make you do it, so you pick up a book that you would never read in a million years. Well, the recent one with Archer and Armstrong really made me open my eyes to Bloodshot. I think this character is awesome. I think Hardcore is awesome. I just love this group. Well, we're at the point where basically Bloodshot and Hardcore aren't going to exist anymore. And it starts off really badass, really violent, and we think Bloodshot, oh my God, he's going to be a bad guy here. But then we learn throughout the comic book that not everything is as appears as it seems. Mr. Kozul is still manipulating things. Nobody on the team knows what he's doing. On the Hardcore team knows what he's doing. Bloodshot knows it's bad, but nobody's going to believe him because they saw what he did in the opening. Project Rising Spirit is clearly not going to be around as we know it long. I really enjoyed this book. I highly recommend it. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, I got to read Futures End number 2. We're starting off with Green Arrow's funeral. At the end of last issue, he's dead. This takes place 5 years in the future of our current DC universe. And what I like about this issue is you see just the way characters have changed. We see characters, we don't even know who they are yet. There's new heroes, just new costumes for certain heroes. Superman, or presumably Superman, in some sort of like Eradicator type costume, but you can't see his face. And I'm just excited to learn what has happened in the DC universe. There's a lot of teasers here that they talk about wars and parallel worlds and what I'm presuming to be the end of the Earth 2 weekly series that starts in October. I'm assuming that's this big war that they talk about 5 years in the past, or 4 years in the past. I'm stoked though. I can't wait to see what this holds. We get a little bit of Terry as Batman. We don't see that much of him, but we have 50 more issues to go with this, and I can't wait. You guys should be reading this. Seems like a lot of intrigue, a lot of mystery, and just a lot of cool stuff that's going to be going on. I'm giving this 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
I just got done reading Justice League United issue 1. This pretty much takes place right after issue 0 with the whole Justice League Canada battling this chaos monster. The weird thing about it is it keeps on changing due to the fact that Stargirl's staff miraculously changes its physical appearance. So they have a hard time fighting him just due to the fact that he's always evolving and changing. But Chaos eventually gets taken down due to the fact that, the whole group, in a sense, has a plan on how to defeat him. What's more focused on this book, other than that fight, is the fact that you have Lobo versus Hawkman in this. And this is an interesting battle of epic proportions due to the fact that it's just a big slugfest. And what's even more crazy is the fact that what happens to these two just makes your jaw drop. But I didn't necessarily like the concept of why they were fighting. And towards the very end of the issue itself, when you realize what the whole purpose of that whole issue was, or at least half this issue, it was kind of disappointing. So overall, the beginning part with the whole, Justice League Canada fighting, you have Arrow, Animal Man, Adam Strange, Stargirl, and Martian Manhunter. That was pretty neat. Very humorous from at least Arrow's point of view. But the whole space intergalactic battle between Lobo and Hawkman pretty much fell kind of short, and I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls because of that.
So I also got to read Goof number 3 from Guy Hassan. I'm a huge fan of this book. It is just very funny, and in this issue you have Captain Gorgeous going to rescue Melody, and he sucks at it. But I'm hesitant to admit this. They made me feel naughty thoughts towards Melody because she gradually gets stripped down with fewer and fewer clothes as Captain Gorgeous tries to rescue her, and he keeps messing up. And it's like, I shouldn't be thinking about that in a comic book character. But I did, so thanks, Guy. I appreciate that. It's funny, and we for once see Captain Gorgeous sort of outwit the enemy, which is something we haven't seen. He usually screws everything up. But he did it in a very clever way, which is not him. So that was very interesting. I like how they wrapped up that story with crap to pants, poop to pants, all those aliens. That was, again, once again, very funny with the play on names. And we also see a little tie-in with his family, and there might be more going on there on the nefarious side. So I'm very curious what's going on. I really enjoy this book. I highly recommend you pick it up. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, I got to read all new X-Men number 27. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants from the future are back. Even some of the ones that died, still, they're actually, it's a big thing in this issue because they're wondering how the hell they're here or what happened. And we find out a lot of backstory on some pretty important characters and where they came from and who they're related to and what's going on. And I just, it's really great. It's really outstanding. They go into the future, too, of our timeline, not their timeline. It's sort of the past of the Brotherhoods. But Bendis is doing a great job with the X-Men. It was something I was kind of worried to see when he left the Avengers. I was wondering what he was going to do. But obviously, he's got big plans. There's some big stuff happening. And I can't wait to see how this plays out. This is a book you should be reading. This actually be a great jumping on point. Last issue would have been like the start of this. But the thing I like about the Marvel books is they give you a little summary in the front. So if you want to read a new book, they tell you what's been happening. I suggest picking this up. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
So I also got to read H.A.R.D number 2. And if you saw my previous review of H.A.R.D number 1, I really enjoyed this book. I had no clue where it was going. And starting this issue, I'm even more confused. We have Kate. She was kidnapped. And the group that kidnapped her, I'm like, I don't know where they came from, what they're doing. Interesting. Obviously, something's going on. In this issue, that's how it starts off. But then we have this gang of lions in a car chasing after them to kidnap her from that group of like mice and whatever that had her. And it's like, what in the hell is going on in this comic? Eventually, she gets free, goes to the police. And it's just like, what is with this comic? They have a nice flashback with her dad. I really enjoy this. And basically, the whole thing comes down to something that they referenced in the first one, a sibling. We have no knowledge what this is about. We didn't even really know she has a sibling. I'm very curious where this is going to lead. I'm confused as hell with all these characters they're introducing. I would check it out. I'm going to go ahead and give it 3.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys, I got to read Avengers number 29. This is the first Original Sin tie-in, and I've actually really been looking forward to this story because when I saw it teased, I was just excited to see the ramifications of this. But it deals with Captain America remembering everything that happened with the new Avengers and being part of the Illuminati for that small moment of time before Doctor Strange was like, boom, mind wipe. Well, now he remembers everything, and he is pissed. And it kind of sucks because he's always, him and Iron Man are like brothers, but they've done so much to each other that's just not cool. And you can see it's just wearing on Steve. Like every time he goes back to trust this guy, something else happens. So I'm really excited to see how this story plays out. It's great. I'm really excited to see all this Original Sin stuff, but this story especially, because I feel like it's just going to make the Avengers Foundation very shaky, and they've really built up a lot of awesome stuff here. So I can't wait to see how it plays out. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
So finally, I got to read The Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 1, starring Shang-Chi. It's cool because it starts off with him still being an Avenger and going after his target. But the very first part of the story is we see a murder, and we find out that Shang-Chi had very close ties with this young lady, and we're going to see a revenge story one way or another. I know he's very centered and he keeps calm, one with Kung Fu, but there's no way around it. He's very emotional in this. Most of the book is his journey to find out more of what happened, and he basically confronts MI6, or actually MI6 confronts him. They let him go with full knowledge that he is still going to go down the path of finding out what happened. I'm very interested to see this. I thought the Kung Fu was displayed very well. I'm not a big Kung Fu guy. I'm really not thrilled with all the movies that come out. There are good ones, I'm not saying that, but there are people that just watch every single one that comes out. That's not me. I did enjoy this book, though. I liked the martial arts. I thought it was done very well, but more importantly, I really like the story. I like where this is going. I'm very curious where it's going to go, so I recommend it. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.